You are live with Dr. Chapa. Good morning, good day, whatever time you're tuning in. I am so excited that you're here. Why? Well, because we got a great message in store for you. I get excited about teaching people the power they have in their health. It's your life, your health, your choice. You're going to hear me teach that, sell that idea to you constantly, because if you buy in to the idea that it's your life, your health, and your choice, guess what's going to happen? You're going to thrive in an otherwise non-thriving world. We're just surviving out there. We're stressed out, run down, beat up, and we're just getting by, not maximizing the cellular response that we could tap into. Energy, vitality, and of course, longevity all along the way. Fully functional in spirit, mind, and body. That's what I've been believing for and preaching for I don't know, my entire career. I used to have a bracelet until they finally broke, and I found 2 or 3 more, and I could probably have some made, but it said fully functional or well-adjusted in spirit, mind, and body. Then my wife made me a really cool bracelet that said the same thing. I probably just got to get it polished up in a new leather band, and bada bing, I'm back in the game, displaying that idea. I don't really wear much jewelry, but at the end of the day, this message, right, a reminder that we are our author of our own good health. Now, I know things happen, and I know that things are sometimes out of our control, but there's so many things in our control that we are not tapped into, and we're blaming the other things that we can't control. You can't blame the sun, you can't blame the soil, you can't blame the rain, you can't blame drought. Things are coming. It rains on the just and the unjust, the Bible says. Wellness is not about you not ever being sick. Wellness is about how does your body adapt to illness situations. A buddy of mine, kids get sick, he catches a little stuffiness, and that's all he got. Whereas one of his daughters got 3 days worth of illness, another one of his kids, 1 day worth of illness. So 1 day, 3 days, and then stuffiness. It hit them all the same way, but the body, wellness-wise, processed it out well. And you know what the big difference was between all of them? The digestion. Whose digestion system was moving better than the other? So dad, of course, the better digestion in this case, he cleared it only to the point where it's just a little stuffy. Daughter, who had it for 3 days, constipated. Son, who had it for 1 day, just 1 day of bowels being slow. This could be dehydration, this could be bad oils, this could be a party, a celebratory dinner, whatever. But here's what we know. 1 Coca-Cola and 1 cookie could disrupt, now I mean disrupt to the point of using a strong word like paralyze your immune system for 8 hours. Ugh. So tonight, what we're going to be talking about is your immune system. We're going to be talking about take your immune system from where it is right now to where you want it to be moving forward. So without further ado, we're going to talk about your immune system needing training every day. You need to train every day. If the dude don't move, the dude don't groove. I've been teaching that idea for a long time. I love that concept because it is the 6th most important thing that you do. Exercise, exercise, exercise. Some people have accused me of not thinking exercise was important. They might even fight with me on whether or not exercise should be number 1. The reality, it's not number 1. There are plenty of people that have lived a long life on this planet, fully functional, pretty for the most part, and they never exercised. Now, I personally believe we need to exercise because it's a stress management system. We're going to talk about that. However, training your immune system is something you have to do with intention, just like with going to the gym or going into your garage and lifting something heavy and doing the basic movements. You've got to stay active. When your body is active, you can manage stress. You can activate blood flow to areas that are weak. You can keep your posture well and strong. Your joints don't get good hydration, so movement creates hydration for the joints and the cleanliness and that rehab factor that kicks in that maintains big, strong bones and good, strong ligaments and amazing elastic tendons and, of course, conditioned muscles. Wow. Come on. Exercise does all that? Of course it does, but not by itself. Because if I exercise you only and never feed you, which person lives longer? So clearly food has to be more important than exercise. They always say a 6-pack's built in the kitchen, right? Not in the gym. So I really want you to grab this idea that your immune system is no different. We got to take it to the gym every day. So without further ado, let's dive in. We've got a lot to cover, and I'm excited to go through it with you. If you do have questions, put it in the comments. If you have or know somebody who needs this message, please share this message with your friends, family, and loved ones. I get excited about teaching you guys each and every week, 7 p.m., to help you understand it's your life, your health, your choice, and your life counts. It matters, and we need you strong, healthy, and vibrant. We are the wellness warriors. We are going forth, making a difference. So, your immune system is not a system at all. Wow, how do you start with that? Well, it grows healthy every day, and experiences that you go through develop it every day. The first year of life, a child does not even have the ability to make antibodies. It takes a little life exposure and time in the world to develop. That's why children's guts are leaky. They have what's called leaky gut syndrome up to about 24 to 26 months. And that means they need mother's milk. So ideally, moms should be breastfeeding for 18 to 26 months. Now, that doesn't happen in our culture. The average mom is making it barely 6 months. Wow. Why? Because we live a dual income family lifestyle, and our moms are back in the workplace, and it's just difficult and cumbersome and, and weird to have to pump in public and all the things, right? Well, that shouldn't be a deterrent, but it is. Okay, and I understand. And so there's no judgment. But then what does our baby's development go into? They go into formulas. They now are getting nutrition from corn syrups and corn solids and fake nutrients and fake sugars and basically processed ingredients that have no business in a well child. And if you think otherwise, man, I want to hope to get your mind right and help you understand that food matters. If I had no supplementation at all to give a person, but I had just a diet idea, I'd teach this concept. What you eat's important, but what you don't eat is more important. And so I could teach that all day long. There's 4 foods that you should never put in your body, a 5th that should be really close. There's 4 deadly food additives, and there's a 5th that's really close. And there's chemicals that you should never be exposed to, but you're getting exposed to it often and always. This is sabotaging and wrecking your immune system. So your immune system needs support. What is hormesis? Oh, what a cool word. Hormesis. Say it with me. Hormesis. It's a word that I learned from Carrie Bone. And hormesis is heat shock proteins and cold shock proteins. And it's a way to activate your body in a safe and stressful environment to get immune responses, to get adrenaline balance, and blood sugar metabolism balance, and making sure that your body knows how to go through autophagy, where you kill off old, unwanted, useless cells that have outlasted their usefulness in your body. I know that was a mouthful. Hormesis is a way to stimulate the body to heal. I learned this from one of my buddies, Mr. Glenn. Glenn was one of the smartest dudes ever. He knew so much about nutrition, but when I went to his house one night, we did cold bath therapy in the morning, and we did pass the plates, which some of y'all know, row the canoes, and pick the grapes in his sauna. And it's at 100 and some odd 50, 60 degrees or whatever, you're cooking in there. And then we did straight to cold, then back to hot, and back to cold, and back to hot. Then I met a guy at the gym, and he was a crazy psychology guy. He always would talk to my Meta. He'd go, Meta, tell Aaron he's not getting this right now. He needs to figure it out. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But I went to this dude's house, and he taught me the power of essential oils and breathing that steam from a steam bath into my sinuses. Hormesis is a way of changing your space and helping clear your head and activating cell pathways, neural pathways, hormonal pathways, detox pathways in such a way that you're giving your body basically a healthy training ground and time to learn how to adapt quickly to life and life circumstances and to move past leaving an illness in its wake. And so when illness strikes, you get a tickle in your throat for a day, but it isn't there disrupting your meetings and your time with your family or functions out in the world. Hormesis is something that we get every day when we activate what I call the 7 most important factors of health, which we'll talk about. The goal isn't, by the way, stress overload, right? We're never wanting to be stressed out. It's healthy adaptation. Your immune system learns regularly. Your immune system is constantly evaluating. They say that a child learns 80 to 90% of everything they're ever going to learn in the first 10 years of life. How's that even possible? Well, you got to think, just the colors they see, the textures, colors they see, the textures, the colors, the sounds they see, the textures, the colors, the sounds they see at different times of day and different temperatures. All these sensory inputs that your nervous system is feeling, what you sense, see, and smell and hear while holding something of a hard pressure, soft pressure, prickly pressure type nature. Everything is adaptation and learning. Your immune system is doing the same thing. But remember I said there's no such thing really as your immune system. It's really an immune alliance. What do I mean by that? The immune alliance is your body has a cardiovascular system made up of hearts, an artery, a vein system, and a capillary bed, right? Your neural system has a brain, a spinal cord, and nerves. Your lymphatic system has a spleen and has lymph tissue. And interesting, your immune system is in every one of those places. Your liver, yes, your immune system's in your liver. Your intestinal tract, absolutely, your immune system's in your intestinal tract. In your sinus cavities, in your lungs, in your kidneys, everywhere that which has an organ system associated has an immune system built in. When those systems come together and collide together and work together and synergize together, you have an immune alliance. Doesn't that sound better? Wouldn't you rather have an alliance than just a system? Well, I teach people how to activate their alliance throughout the year. We do what's called sequential cardiovascular cleanses, sequential immune cleanses, sequential detox cleanses, sequential spleen and lymphatic washes. There's so many different cool ways I go about bathing and working the system so that the alliance is supported. You take care of the foundation, how you start your day, how you end it. You take care of that foundation, you activate and you strengthen your resolve in other systems as a whole organism. That's cool. Let's teach your body how to learn and respond effectively. Movement rebuilds resilience. One of the tests that I run is called a metabolic vulnerability index, and we can see, mouthful, I know, just means how resilient is your cells. Do you want a shield that protects you from the environment so that when little Johnny brings in illness, or when your kids bring home illness, or when you're out and about and somebody sneezes all over you on an airplane, that you have resilience to handle that? If your bowels are working like they're supposed to, if your liver's working like you're supposed to, and your lymphatics are clean like they're supposed to be, your body will just take those things in, process them right out, no big deal, no harm, no foul, like a river. It takes it, runs it. But if it's a stagnant cesspool, a pond, you can come back days on end and that same plastic bottle will be floating in the water, whatever that might be. If there's no flow, there's stagnation, and the stagnation is the breeding ground for infection. Resilience wears down, your shield drops off, and you become penetratable at every juncture. If you want strong immunity, strong circulation, strong inflammatory response time, and stress response time, you've got to get a better resilient systems. That's what we're teaching people day in and day out, because in life, you have to participate in this intentional development of the system. Spending time outdoors could be one little thing that you can start doing. So let's talk about some things that you can do. Physical activity. The dude don't move, the dude don't groove. So easy, right? Go for a walk. Every morning after I drink about 30 ounces of water, I go for a walk. I put salt in my water every morning, and then I do fiber in the morning, like a seed-based fiber product to kind of wake up the system. And then I do some GI, stomach support, go for a walk, and me and my dogs enjoy the morning air. Something to cool the day, like the Bible talks about. And that's only 15 minutes. So it's not even a big deal. And then sunlight comes up while I'm out and about doing my cold bath, or if I'm doing hot water therapy, whatever I'm doing, I'm getting that first morning light exposure. These are the simple, guys, easy things you could do. So water, physical activity, get that first morning sun. Let your eyes even try to look at the sun as it's coming and penetrating across your membranes, and embrace that and go, thank you, God, for new life. Thank you, God, for new breath. Thank you, God, for a new opportunity. Lord, what are we going to get to do today? This is going to improve your mood. And if you start your day right, you're going to have a better immune system and a better attitude and a better day, period. So starting your day right helps you end it right, helps you handle stuff. It helps you prep for whatever might come at you that's stressful. Because all of us know that stress is coming, curveballs are coming, and we're going to have to navigate. So connecting with nature every day. I have a patient, he goes and he canoes. And he loves just canoeing down and around waters. How cool is that? What is it, I'd love to know, you love to do to connect with nature that puts you into a little bit of a physical state, outdoors, soaking up some sunshine, getting that vitamin D, getting that, by the way, vitamin D from the sun will open up the cell's ability to receive nutrition. Huh, that cool. You don't have good vitamin D levels, which, by the way, many of you don't. I have seen your blood work. I've seen so many thousands of blood panels that vitamin D is low more than 90% of the time. More than 90% of the time. Unless they're like a care plan. I figured out ways to get their vitamin D levels up. I figured out what's taxing it. It's typically some underlying bacteria or virus. This is why we do sequential immune boosting protocols during the year so that we can keep the body biochemically stress levels down. So you can control stress with exercise, but healthy lifestyles outdoors gives you just natural immunity. Being grounded to the earth, being grounded to the ocean. One of my patients came in this week and she was coming in from Galveston. She had been soaking in the sun, soaking in the waves, getting her feet in the sand. That is awesome. That's where we should all really learn to tap into. Slow down enough to let the earth's Schumann frequencies and Reich frequencies just connect your body back to the natural rhythms of the earth. Lymphatics flow, circulatory system flows, and your immune alliance grows. Wow. Nutritional training in the immune system from a diet perspective. Of course, you can talk about food. Food matters. What you eat's important, but guys, what you don't eat is more important. If you're eating healthy amounts of protein, and I'm not talking about tofu, I'm not talking about soy edamame, I'm not talking about fake beef and stuff that people are, that is plant-based. I'm not opposed to plant-based proteins, beans and lentils and things of that nature. I'll help a person find a way. I will. However, we have to recognize the difference between what we're eating food-wise that's real and food that we shouldn't be eating because, well, frankly, it's not real. If you eat make-believe food, guess what you're going to get? Make-believe health. So don't build your foundation and you just cool, awesome chemistry set on fake ingredients, fake life. It will not hold for long-term benefit. It won't have full function. Sooner or later, no one can outrun a bad diet. So healthy amino acids, anything with a face. If it has a mother or a father or has a face, it's probably something that you can eat. And I could probably argue on if oysters are really good for you, but they are pure protein amino acids. It's like they've already been digested. That's why they look like kind of digested snot that you swallow, but it tastes good, right? And we put some horseradish with that, open up our sinuses and get those aminos. But amino acids, something that has a face or has a mother is good for you, okay? I have some people, though, you got to be careful. I'm a firm believer that eggs are like the incredible edible egg, unless you're allergic to the soy that they're feeding the chickens, and now you're getting all that soy in your body from the eggs, and unfortunately, eggs now become a no-go for lunch for you. So sometimes you've got to be mindful of we're building our proteins. Are we feeding our cows nothing but grains and things that just fatten them up, and the quality of the meat goes down? Or are we feeding them like things that they were naturally designed to give us in the form of healthy amino acids, organ meats, healthy amounts of essential fatty acids? Believe it or not, there is an omega-6 to omega-3 crisis in this country where we have too many inflammatory fats, the omega-6 family, and not enough of the omega-3s and 9 family, the more non-inflammatory, restorative cellular fats that help your body strive and thrive for goodness, where the other ones, when out of balance, creates fire and heartache and pain. So what does this look like? Okay, if you're eating processed food, you're getting into omega-6 inflammatory fats. So there's something called essential amino acids, which is from protein. There's something called essential fatty acids that comes from healthy fats. If you're not getting good amounts of healthy essential amino acids and or essential fatty acids, your balance of omega-6 inflammation to non-inflammation omega-3s goes out of the window. And so now you're walking around on fire. You're going to bed on fire. You wake up with your hair on fire. Your whole body's on fire. And it shows up in the form of symptoms. It could be everything from anxiety and OCD to skin rashes to belly pain to inability like insomnia and sleep or breathing issues. It's amazing. It could be issues in your blood. So whatever your symptom is, you've got to build that. You've got to see it. You got to get somebody to interpret those symptoms and then help you figure out what's the plan. What you eat's important. What you don't eat's not important. So we shouldn't be eating fake food, right? Vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, magnesium. I could throw in calcium here. Absolutely, positively, the fundamentals. Every night before bed, you should take Zinc Force. You can go to shop.justlivewell.com. 54 milligrams a capsule. Amazing. One should do it. Sometimes two, rarely three, but sometimes. Zinc has over 300 jobs in the body. Without it, you cannot digest your food. You can't absorb your food. You can't build a healthy mucous membrane. You can't build a shield of protection to fortify your system. You can't have good digestion, or you cannot have good skin, hair, and nails. Did I say good digestion? I think I did like times. Why? Because I really want you to get it. Without zinc, stomach goes out the window and everything falls apart from there. Vitamin D, like we talked about, from the sun. Vitamin C from good, healthy plant-based and citrus can give you that. There's a rumor that says that vitamin C is not something your body manufactures, and you only can get it from the resources of food. And that may be true. I don't know that I'm fully a believer of that statement. I just feel like as effective as our body does in making its own nutrition, I think that with the right fuel sources, because of what the animals that we're eating are eating, we should be able to get C from things. Now, you could argue that when the limeys came across the sea, why they were called limeys, they found out that whatever they had in the form of fuel to get from overseas to here, they were not able to get enough vitamin C, which caused scurvy, which is a blood disorder where the arterial lining begins to become leaky and it begins to drain apart or fall apart, and they were dying of blood disorders. So vitamin C was assumed that you cannot manufacture it. And maybe in a starvation state, that's true, but I think in an abundant state, I don't know, I might challenge that. But you need it. Vitamin C, essential fatty acids become what we call the health triad. You throw zinc in to activate, magnesium and calcium in to fortify. It's just really that simple, and this is how we build the system up. Now, we've been talking about a little bit about exercise. We talked a little bit about food, right? Most important nutrient you need every day is not food. It's not water. It's not exercise. It's air. I know you thought I was going to say sleep since we're on the sleep slide, but it's air. If you don't get air, you're dead, man. You've got to get air to your brain, oxygen to your tissues in order to get that cellular respiration state to operate and work well. And number 2 on the list, second most important nutrient you can have is sleep. Sleep is immune recovery. It is immune activation. Your body cleans the house so that tomorrow you have a fresh kitchen to work from. You cleanse your filters every night so that when you wake up tomorrow, you got a new day that you can work through and work out with and think through and have these metabolites that you generate be able to go somewhere. If you want your tissues to repair themselves, if you want inflammation to be reduced, if you want your body's immune system to be the best that it can be and become the alliance that I'm describing, you need good sleep. That's number 2 on the list. And I know it's not technically a nutrient, but it is. Because if you go without sleep for more than 3 days, according to Brain Rules here by John Medina, you'll go crazy. Your mind will start slipping. And Jim Rohn always used to say, you can't trust your memory. And I'm a firm believer that Jim Quick's right, that we all have a good brain, just some of us have a more developed brain than others. But what if we're eating the wrong foods, inflammatory foods, and our brain starts making bad neural connections, which happens while you sleep. So if you're getting bad sleep, you're potentially getting bad neural connections, and you're going to wake up with brain fog. You're going to walk into rooms, not know why you got there. You're going to have problems with phrasing words together. You're going to forget names, numbers, and words with people. You're going to literally just wish your brain could understand better. The comprehension goes out the window. Sleep is everything, okay? So this is so important. So I have a whole sleep protocol. Zinc at bedtime, magnesium threonate or magnesium glycinate at bedtime. I take any immune viral support for chronic immunity at bedtime. And I also do probiotics at bedtime. Why? I want to fortify the gut. I want to make it right so that tomorrow it's got a fresh day to kick butt, take names, and during the night it can manufacture B vitamins so I have energy tomorrow. Because if you're going to bed and you wake up more tired than when you went to bed, that is a problem. If you wake up at night to pee, that is a problem. You're not sleeping well. Don't tell me that, oh, I just go right back to sleep. It means that you are not getting good quality deep sleep if you are waking up at night to pee, or waking up at night and staring at the ceiling, and or if you wake up tossing and turning and going back to sleep, you're rolling over. You're not getting the level quality of sleep that you deserve, and you won't regulate your tissues. So sleep's just an important factor that we always work on. So if I build you a strong morning protocol and a strong bedtime routine, you're going to see your health improve. Then if I get you off the 4 deadly foods and the 4 food additives and the 4 most inflammatory foods, immune regulation is in your future. Sleep quality improves in your future. Overall recovery and regeneration is in your future. This helps you deal with stress changes. Stresses come in many forms: mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. And short-term stress is a normal part of life. When we're living under the stress gun, never in life are we supposed to run from the metaphoric grizzly bear day in and day out. But yet, here we are. We're running from the metaphoric grizzly bear. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. No fun. We've got to help people recognize that when you are under chronic stress for long periods of time, you're setting yourself up for failure. It's like getting no sleep for 3 days. It's set up for failure. Not managing and handling your stress leads to burnout, leads to anxiety, leads to overwhelm, leads to nervousness all the time. So we want to get that all regulated. So of course, taking time to Joshua 1:8, this book of the law, the Bible, one of my favorite books, to be reading and working through always, shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall what? Meditate in it day and night. That's important. And then you'll make your way prosperous. Then you'll have good success. This is good news. So we've got to learn to manage our spiritual life. We need to learn to regulate our immunity by doing protocols to push it forward. Bacterial cleanses, viral cleanses, even if you're not sick, parasite cleanses, even if you don't have belly pain, fungal cleanses, because you eat sugar and yeast loves sugar. This is important. You don't have to go and get on hormones when you're a yeast factory. You just need to stop eating the foods that yeast likes, which might darn near be everything that you personally like, but it ain't you that likes them. It's the bugs that love them, and you can't fight the bugs. But when you get involved in our whole body reset program, which you can put whole body reset, we'll give you details. We got classes on it regularly. You will discover that the bugs will cause you to crave. The bugs will cause your brain to make bad decisions. The bugs will disrupt the organism, the alliance of your immune system, to take a break and to allow for bad viruses to be downloaded into your hard drive, aka your body. Isn't that interesting? And sleep quality deteriorates, recovery falls apart. And on my test, when I run my metabolic resilience testing programs, I show people their amino acids are low. I show people they're not absorbing in their blood work. And if you've never had a functional doc like myself run and read your blood work, you'll be hard-pressed to find anybody that looks at it as good as I do. I am trying to look at blood work and show people where their body's breaking down and finding that root cause cellular health in blood, because your blood work matters. Now, does hormone testing matter? Does stool test matter? Of course. So does MRI of the abdomen. If I could get an MRI of your abdomen, I can't wait for the day. But I don't run tests on every person every time for every little thing. I am constantly teaching a person how to listen to their body, how to assess their stress, how to manage their stress, how to eat well day in and hydrate well day in and day out, and sleep well day in and day out. And guess what? Their overall well-being improves. The alliance at the mind-body level, the gut-brain level begin to come together. The gut lining, doing a regular monthly, quarterly gut detox. Do you know what that creates? That creates a absolute restorative opportunity for protein absorption, B vitamin manufacturing, and neurotransmitter activation. You make 3 million neurotransmitters in your digestive tract. You have 3 million more neurotransmitters in your digestive tract than you do in your brain. So do you want your brain to be good? Well, you better have a good gut. So depending on what we're eating depends on how inflamed you're going to be. But even if you have good food coming in because you made some dietary changes, but you never have overhauled your stomach, your small intestine, or your intestines, you've never detoxed them or cleansed them out, again, you should definitely consider our rebalancing program. So again, your life program is designed to help you live your best, stay your best, all the days of your life, fully functional in spirit, mind, and body. So fiber-rich foods, how important is fiber? Some people say you need it, some people say you don't need it. There's a big debate. I do think that fiber, I went on a carnivore diet for 2 years, and I don't know. I did need a little bowel push from time to time, but in general, as long as I stayed hydrated, I was fine. But I do think that there's some value to fiber in that it does feed certain healthy commensal or keystone bacterium in my gut, and I want a gut that is fully fortified. And so I think fiber is good. So one of the things I've shifted to in this last, going into my third year carnivoring it, is I just allow some fiber-rich foods in. So I'm carnivore-ish at this point. And not because I don't believe in carnivore, but I've done it for a long time, and I like to experiment and learn and grow, and I'm not locked into any one thing, but one thing I know is for sure. The fiber conversation of 30 grams a day is not entirely accurate because they're selling you on the idea that 11 servings of grains a day is what's going to give you the fiber you need every day, and I'm telling you that's a myth. That is baloney mahoney. Grain fiber will set you up for failure. You need good healthy vegetables, good healthy fruits, and or seeds for a good fiber-rich inoculation of the gut to fortify it and to strengthen it and to maximize its benefits in your body. Fermented foods, if they're tolerated, can be a great way to not only feed good healthy microbiome, but also get some extra fiber. Staying hydrated. I was just talking to a buddy yesterday. I was descaling my salt generator, and I just put straight acid in there, and he goes, it'll be better if you put a little water with it because you need the hydrogen and oxygen. I'm like, oh yeah, you need more than just the substance to clean. You need the water molecules to help activate the substrate, the enzymes or whatever. So this is all an important part of what we're going to be doing together as I teach you how to do our whole body reset. So if you've never done a whole body reset, guess what? This is your time. Gut health is everything. Hydration is everything, and a balanced diet is everything. It'll teach you all those things. And so every couple months we do a program that helps you learn how to maximize your gut. And sitting here looking at my cool picture, and I'm going, well, I don't promote yogurt. Sorry about that. I'm pretty sure that's like some kind of cheese in that bowl. Thanks, AI. You knew me better than that. And then oats. How dumb. Anyway, this picture, the information's good, but the picture's a little wrong. But you guys get it. You probably didn't even see it until I brought it up. That's me being meticulous. That's all good. However, I want people to recognize you can't eat dairy. Dairy is one of the foods you can't have. It's absolute fake. It's absolutely processed. It's pasteurized, homogenized, chemically altered, and it's inflammatory to the hilt. So if you are consuming dairy products, milk, cheese, yogurt, sour cream, ice cream, whey protein, milk, cheese, yogurt, sour cream, ice cream, sour cream, creamer in your coffee, whey protein, you are eating the wrong kind of dairy. Stop it. It's so inflammatory, it wrecks everybody, causes so many problems in the system, and I have seen it for 21 years. It's going to be hard pressed to show me anything different. I want to believe too that strong bones come from milk, but it doesn't. Every country that consumes dairy products for bone strength have the highest incidence of osteopenia and or osteoporosis, which are bone loss programs. Oh my gosh. So eat dairy, bone loss. You can't even say milk does a body good anymore because it's fake and lying marketing. They can't say it. But they can put a fancy celebrity with a cool mustache back in the 90s and call it, don't do it. There's a great website. Well, I don't think it's around anymore, but it used to be out there called milksucks.com. And it shows you just all the different things they do to the animals. So for all you food animal activists, you would not consume milk knowing what and how they treat your animals. They abuse the snot out of them, which I'm pretty sure that if you're stressed out, so the animal is stressed out, they're not going to produce good quality milk anyway. And of course, you can outperform that if you load them up on hormones, which that's what they do, antibiotics, which is what they do. Very, very not good. So I could just sit on that and don't need to anymore. Eat nourishing foods. If you eat dairy products, grain products, soy products, corn products, you're asking for trouble. And so the nourishing foods are anything with a face, anything that grew out of the ground or off a tree. I would bet that most of those foods that don't have a label that tells you what's in it are probably more healthy for you than if you were eating anything with a label that is claimed to be healthy that is processed in any way. So we've got to be mindful of this idea. Nourishing foods matters. What you eat is important, nourishing foods. But what you don't eat, the 4 deadly food additives, MSG, partially hydrogenated oil, artificial sugars, high fructose corn syrup, are wrecking your health, and of course the dyes. If you're getting into these things, you're wrecking your nervous system, you're wrecking your gut. If you're getting into grains and dairy, you're tearing apart and creating leaky gut. So the manufacturing facilities tear apart. So therefore your brain goes on the accelerated aging curve and it declines quickly. Names, numbers, words, etc. So stay hydrated, manage your stress well. We build stress management protocols all the time too because people are stressed. We live in a very stressed out culture today. How do we prevent that? By maximizing our adrenal system, by maximizing the central meridian, making sure your pineal, your pituitary, hypothalamus, your thyroid, your adrenals, your gonads are all working like they're supposed to. So if I could get your morning right, your nighttime right, and strengthen your glandular axis, I think we've got a great triad biochemically to make you well. And then you'll want to go exercise. Then you'll walk past the donut. And then you'll pray better. And then you'll serve your community better. And then you make the impact that you've always known you could make. Small choices add up. So we have a Learn to Thrive program. Health isn't about chasing quick fixes. It's about regularly moving and grooving, hydrating well, mineraling up, eating correctly, sleeping like a baby. Well, no, not up half the night crying, but sleeping truly well without wicked, wild, bizarre, funky dreams, not waking up hot, tossing and turning, not struggling through the night. You want to manage your daily choices. You've got to walk past the donut more often than you eat it. I always like to say, you become what you eat. Some people say, you are what you eat. I say, you become what you eat. If you want to eat sugar-filled lumps of dough, you're going to turn into a donut. We don't want that. We already live and see what this high pastry, high processed sugar, high grain society is creating. Diabetes, heart disease. It's causing autoimmunity to set in. There is no quick fix. It's time and consistency, knowing what fuels the body and what's real, and things without a label is better than things with a label. Things that are, like when you drink water, you drink your water, you are putting salt in there, putting some electrolytes in there. It helps balance your day and keep you from being dehydrated at the cellular level. So many people, there's a great book, You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty. Or another one, PDF, The Body's Many Cries for Water. Knowledge, choices, habits lead to what? Great results. Or knowledge, choices, and habits leads to what? Better results. It's your choice. It's your life, your health, your choice. Explore the strategies that we're teaching and I've been sharing for years. And know that you can follow us on all the social media platforms and know that from a functional health perspective, I got your back. From an immune perspective, I got your back. I can teach you how to get rid of staphylococcal, streptococcal, bacterial pattern of infections. I can teach you how to get rid of parasitic patterns of infections. I can help you get rid of viral autoimmunities patterns of infection. Your body wants to heal. Are you being trained to do the right things often enough to maximize your overall health and wellness curve? I hope so. But if you want good, healthy aging, strong metabolism, faith-centered living, my name's Dr. Aaron Chapa, and that's what I do, baby. Yeah. And I'm excited for all my wellness warriors out there. So follow us, share us, teach people how to live better, be better through our education programs. And we've got some great tools, resources that you can tap into day in and day out. So live well, be well, one bite at a time. Hydrate well with good, healthy salts. We'll have a salt class we talked just about a few weeks ago that was super good about which salts not to do, which salts you should do. And understand that if you are stressed out and you're run down and you're not sleeping like a baby, like sleeping well, waking up more refreshed than when you went to bed, you need help. Give us a call, justlivewell.com, 281-554-8600. You can find us everywhere online, and we are here for you. We want to see you each and every week, learning and growing. Even if you get one nugget, put it in the comments below, and I want to hear about how the teachings that we're sharing with you are making a difference in your life. Guys, it's an absolute pleasure to be a part of your world. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing the message, and we'll see you on the next Dr. Chapa Wellness Show. I forgot what I was going to say. But remember,